Alright, what's up, guys? We're gonna go ahead and start here in a few minutes. Gonna get some music going, gonna post that we're live, get the people going. What's good though? Feels good to be back. 100%, 100%. Alright, let me post this. How is that, Wagyu? Oh yeah. Nah, bro. We were just playing. You already know. The jig is up. Alright, so after being extremely well rested, this is gonna be a great session. How are you guys feeling? How's everyone here? How was trading solo yesterday? I already know you guys crushed it. Y'all are incredible. Okay. Alright, let me drop this post in here. Okay. Pin this. Alright, guys, I'm gonna play like a song and then 2 max, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So make sure you guys have everything you need to be successful as a trader today. Got your accounts set up. You got your trade copiers if you use any. Got your your live accounts, your prop accounts, good to go. Maybe you're starting a new one today. Use whatever codes make sense for you. Use accounts that fit your plan. All that good stuff. Come on. 3.5 hour on oil. Beast. Alright, let me get this going here. It's provocative. Exactly. Alright, yeah. Let your homies know. Let the traders know. Let them know. We live. We are live. Alright, give me a couple minutes here, guys. Get situated. And we'll be rolling. What's that sound? Okay. Alright. Man, trading from this laptop, everything is so much slower. Finally on the dual monitor train, this is lit. It is nice. It is a nice to have. 100%. 100%. Alright, what's going to be the vibe today? What's the music vibe? What do I have in mind? Well, once this loads, I can get something going here. I think, alright, you know what? I'm going to surprise myself today a little bit. We're going to mix it up. Bad Bunny just did a crazy ass, his first time, crazy ass set. His first time here in Japan. So let's get some Bad Bunny going, dude. Let's get some vibes going here. Okay, here we go. We'll go. Oh no, where'd it go? Bro, why did my song just move? Alright, here we go. A little Eladio, Bad Bunny.
Quiere Coco Chanel, Louis V Bottega. Yeah, la puse en 6-9, no la mega. Ese culo tan lindo y tú con novio. Baby, eso no pega, baby, eso no pega. Chinemos con mi prenda puesta, quedo ciega. Preguntan por mí, ella lo niega. Nunca sale, pero si es por mí, ella le llega. Ya me acosté a dormir, pero si es Chanel, Louis V, Bottega. La puse en 6'9", no la mega. Ese culo tan lindo y tú con novio. Baby, eso no pega, baby, eso no pega. Chingamos con mi prenda puesta, quedó ciega. Preguntan por mí, ella lo niega. Ey, nunca sale, pero si es por mí, ella le llega. Ella le llega, ey. Ella le llega, ey. Ya sabe que la cona es de México. Julieta Venegas toma Genesis, pero no juega Sega. Pregunta por mí por ahí, pero ella lo niega, ey. Bebiendo bucana, fumando juca, yo me siento bacano. Yeah, mi cuello está frío, ya quemó Claire y estamos en verano. Ey, me siento Luca cada vez que tiro porque no fallamos. Ey, me siento Luca Paguro ripeándote Gucci italiano. Ey, en la cama dejamos más polvo que Tano. Ya son 4 corridos y no nos agotamos. Yeah, walk con el fuego y lo mezclamos. Clock 40 en tu cartera, Ferragamo. Ey, quiere Coco Chanel, Louis V, Bottega. Yeah, la puse en 6'9", no la mega. Ese culo tan lindo y tú con novio. Baby, eso no pega, baby, eso no pega. Chingamos con mi prenda puesta, quedó ciega. Pregunta por mí, ella lo niega. Ey, nunca sale, pero si es por mí, ella le llega. Ella le llega. No te veo hasta que le... Prende otro Billy, bebé, que ya mi muerte se apaga. Vamos para el cuarto polvo, y esto es una saga. Dice que le gusta hacerlo con mis temas de trap. Y si te preguntan por qué para el sexo, yo soy tu fapiles. Que yo me sé tus poses favoritas. Que te hablo malo y que eso te excita. Que te hago todo lo que necesitas. Pa' hacerte venir y diles
Que yo me sé tu pose favorita. Que te hablo malo y que eso te excita. Que te hago todo lo que necesitas. Pa' hacerte venir.
Dile que soy el baby, tu novio viste de Old Navy. Yo sí tengo flow, él no tiene flow. Yo tinte martillo y te doy dembow. Por la noche cuando él se va, tú me llamas con la necesidad. Porque te gusta como te doy. Tranquila más que por ahí voy a. Quiero hacerte cositas que nunca te han hecho.
Quiero saber en qué piensas cuando me ves llorando. ¿Por qué tienes que irte? ¿Por qué quieres hablarlo? Tal vez te olvido y hasta ya vuelvo a quererme. No me atrevo a mirarme, mejor déjalo así. Que ya mañana vuelves a mirarme como antes. Dime que no has olvidado lo que decías, que cambiaste tanto amor que me quema al instante. Dime que me has olvidado, no sé si tú. No sé si tú. Tengo miedo a hablar, si tengo que verte, prometo no te quiero ya, pero ayúdame a quererte, porque te extraño.
All right, what's good, everybody? All right, I actually didn't know that last song, but kind of a jam, not gonna lie. All right, let's close out of that. Let's get the trading going. Let's get the people going. And all right. Over here, we're good. We're good. These laptop settings are not as nice, but that's okay. The oil prices were stagnant yesterday because the strait was open. Ships were passing through Hormuz. It wasn't until America and Israel violated the ceasefire on 3 different clauses. Yeah, that's like the 47,000th time that Israel and or America violates some sort of ceasefire. Classic America. All right. What's good, y'all? Happy, what day is it? It's Wednesday over there. No, it's Thursday. Happy Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday. We got 2 trading sessions left on the week. We will be diving into oil. We'll be looking at metals, indices, some majors. I will not leave Japan without catching a yen move. I feel like it would just be dishonorable, just fully dishonorable if we don't make that happen. So working on getting that done 100%. And then, but either way, from out here, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna trade what's available. We're not gonna force nothing, but we're gonna make things happen. We're gonna make things work. I see you guys have been crushing it here in the school. Shout out to Phil. Phil, the boy, got funded. I know, he's close to getting another account funded as well. So amazing to see. Shout out the boy Evan, who got funded ×3, and his guys got a nice little buffer going. So let's keep it going, guys. I do want to say that as you approach today, don't worry about those money milestones. Don't worry about those payout milestones, the withdrawals. Don't put your focus on getting funded. Put your focus on staying the trader that you need to be. It's pretty simple. But I'm gonna just remind you, because I know on your mind you're like, oh man, you're calculating how much you're away from getting paid or getting funded. You're thinking about, or you know what? Maybe yesterday's trades didn't go the way you wanted them to, or maybe they went beyond your expectations. Don't worry about none of that either. We're not here to trade yesterday. We're here to trade today. We're here to trade today, my friends. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. And so as I kick this off, I want you to, in the chat right now, one, because this is scientifically proven by research papers that are not real, that if you like and are subscribed and you share this, that you will make infinite profits. That's just what some guy on YouTube says. So yeah, you should definitely do that. Make sure you're doing that, because if you don't do that, then there's no chance, right? So yeah, make sure you do that. But most importantly, in the chat here, make sure I want to see what your intention is for the session today. All right, so what's your intention? How are you acting on these charts today? And what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do out here? How are we gonna get it done? So let's do just that today. All right, so let me get a little something going here. Get that going there. Got that going there. All right, good to go here. Gotta double check, make sure I'm logged in, because that would be embarrassing. Okay. Good to go. All right, I think I'm ready. All right, we are gravy. Excellent. Sorry guys, I appreciate y'all. With all of this software going here, I just gotta make sure that I'm on the right accounts and everything. Otherwise, you know, it's not gonna go as planned. Alright, we're ready to roll. Switching camera to here. Alright, beautiful. Okay. Alright, so what's on the radar for everyone here? We just walked in. So I'm going to break a couple things down in real time on what I'm waiting for to take some positions here. But instead of tackling on metals right away, I'm actually going to take a look at indices real quick, because I don't think oil necessarily right now is in a state of urgency for any setups. I'm not so like, you know, we got to make sure we're taking anything here. We've cleared Tokyo highs. We know we're trading into this imbalance, so that's all good. And the market is approaching this order block from just yesterday, so cool. I'm not looking to short in there either. We have a nice little shakeout setup here that actually, oh no, my limit deleted. Wait, did it? This should have played out yesterday. All right, anyways, I gotta look at that. I was asleep. Actually, you know what? I haven't even checked. I might have been. This might have traded through and closed me out. Oh, that's sick. Lit. All right, dope. Anyways, I don't have any sort of sense of urgency here with oil. I think we can kind of approach this later on, so we'll actually take a look at that in a little bit. So shout out to you guys if you took the mitigation on oil or if you took the shakeout. Both of our signature entry models played out really nicely with oil, and oh my god, did gold go crazy. I'll talk about gold, but gold ran for a 30R. That gold entry that we had broken down on the live stream. So if you want to go to this last live stream, which was like 2 days ago, go look at that. That trade ended up running for a 30R. Absolute mayhem. Absolute mayhem. So for all my swing traders, whoo, oh man. Yeah, did give some love on that, right? Okay, all right. They said we expected this because it historically happens like this. Facts. Potential yen short down the line. Yes, we will look at that. But okay, right now in real time, we're seeing some volatility with Nasdaq. Nasdaq successfully has taken out Tokyo highs. So a lot of liquidity, a lot of consolidation here. The last well over, what are we looking at here? 15 hours or so. So we are taking out highs here for Nasdaq. You're seeing Dow Jones as well. Nowhere near as bearish. Like it's nowhere near as bullish. Dow is way more suppressed, way more bearish than Nasdaq. So Nasdaq taking out Tokyo highs is obviously a good sign that, okay, a lot of liquidity, so things can reverse. But is there a specific entry on NQ? I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't want to short NQ since it's ripping a lot more than Dow. Dow Jones right now is extremely bearish, right? It's nowhere near London highs, Tokyo highs. It's in this range that it's been sitting in for, if you go back over here. So let's look at this price action. We've been in the same range since yesterday's London session, basically. So well over 24 hours. We're going towards over 30 hours of consolidation for Dow Jones. As you look at Nasdaq, Nasdaq's also in a consolidation. So it's okay. So there's kind of two different things happening here. Remember, you're seeing NQ that is in a consolidation, but the higher time frame, it's a bit more, man, this is pretty slow. Hopefully it's not affecting the stream too much, but it is a little slow on my end. So anyways, NQ here worked its way down further. So kind of on the higher time frame, we've been more bearish on Nasdaq since last Tuesday, right? Or since, basically 36 hours ago. So we climbed up here, and then we had this big drop with New York Open, in which Dow didn't really move as much. So NQ right now a bit more bullish intraday, but has dropped more during the week. Whereas where you look at Dow Jones, Dow kind of broke this low here for New York session, and it's just been pretty choppy overall. So if you can kind of compare both, you're going to notice that within the session today, Nasdaq is carrying a bit more bullish momentum. Overall, though, they're kind of just about the same. So I am really curious to see if Dow is going to climb its way up to this zone before it drops. So, and by this I mean the high, like this week's high. So Wednesday, basically right after New York Open, we hit one more push higher before we start to get some movement to the downside, before we start getting some decent structure, pulling back. So I mean, right now I see liquidity sitting above these Tokyo highs as well. So I could see us targeting these highs here. If you look at Dow Jones price action from Wednesday, you see a spike up, a quick drop, pulls back into imbalance. We'll have to dive in and see if this is mitigation or not. And then, we saw a break below here for about an hour. We come back to make equal highs, double tops. So the question really is here, is there motive? Is there incentive for Dow to work its way up to here and sell off? Or did we already see this? Did Dow Jones already do its thing around this like 48,200 area? So what is it going to be? Now, what you can do here to make things easy for your life, use that bar replay tool. Go right over here. And then we can just double check. All right, what happened here on the smaller time frames? How did things really come together? And when you look at this, the market clears this high. So we can go even one notch lower, 15-second time frame, really get into the details. And honestly, the market starts to pump up from right here. So right here, you instantly see the market clear the highs and then drop off right there. This is the 15-second time frame. Once it does this, it breaks below briefly, and it just creates liquidity here. So you definitely get a couple minutes worth, of about 10 minutes worth of equal highs, resistance here forming, and this leads to some money. All right, we got the retail money here. So was this more so a pullback to just create liquidity, or did we see the closure of a buy to a sell? Honestly, I'm leaning a bit more on just like a buildup of retail sellers. So there is a chance we get a reversal out of here. But since you could argue that this is a mitigation, the exchange of buyers to sellers, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative with this trade, so I won't risk my typical risk, and I'll do a little bit less. If obviously everything lines up, and we'll kind of see what's going on here. So let's go ahead and extend this. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, and then looking at this in real time, because for all I know, this may already have dumped and we don't really have too much to see here. So we've just built up a lot of liquidity in the same place, and especially if, okay, so here we go. So especially since we're already seeing NQ go a lot higher, Dow has kind of this delayed movement to the upside. What's up? Oh, okay. 1 second, guys. All right, so yeah, look at this. Now it's starting to push higher. So as long as NQ is moving way faster to the upside and Dow is kind of the delayed effect, then Dow is solid. If that's not the case, which suddenly NQ wants to move a little different, let's look at the timing of these moments. This push is Wednesday's New York Open, or 15-20 minutes after Wednesday's New York Open, right? 15 minutes after. So can we get up to here? Can we get up to clearing multiple session highs, getting to this Wednesday's New York Open time, that zone? Or are we going to see NASDAQ give us the play here? Because NASDAQ very much could do the same thing. The timing is identical, but the price action is a little different. And of course it could be S&P as well, but typically you're kind of better suited with either NQ or YM. So we have NASDAQ that has a distribution model set up here, 5 minute, very much bearish. And so if we again use our bar replay tool just to be on point over here, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that my sound is on. So if I get some alerts, better to hear them than anything else. All right, yeah, we're good. So here is NQ in action. And this is exactly New York Open. And then this is actually making lower lows and lower highs. So we definitely don't get back to the zone. NQ, in my opinion, is not really you can't really argue NQ's movement. It is very much a sweep to the high, a drop, and we don't get back to the zone. So I definitely prefer NQ if it's going to get to the zone after Dow does. So now we just kind of leave it for the timing of it, and we let the market get to these zones without really interfering. At least I will. Now, could we consider possible buy scenarios before the market gets here? Again, and we need confirmations. We can't just assume. We can't just jump the gun and be like, you know what? No, it's got to get up to here, so let me just buy now, and just because the vibes, it feels good, I want to make money, I want to get funded. No, none of that. We're not here to do that. Y'all aren't amateurs. Y'all aren't here in Tradetopia just because you want to build your freedom one impulse at a time, right? That's not the phrase. It's not, I want to build my freedom because I'm kind of tired of not making the money I want to make. That's not the slogan either. It's one trade at a time, plain and simple. So what I want to say here before we move forward, I did want to bring this up because I know some of you every month or basically every week, you're like, oh, where should I get my trading accounts, etc. I do know that I think Tradeify just launched their 3.0 thing, and that is a 40% off as well. So for those of you guys that are doing that, 40% off there. I know they're also doing 40% off on instant fundeds. So if you guys are pretty disciplined, you have a lot of history, then check those out. Otherwise, basically that and Lucid have the best deals right now. I know Apex launched a new thing and it's looking kind of good there. So if you want to kind of, take a gamble on the payout situation there, check it out. But I think for sure, Tradeify Lucid is still my top two, no doubt. But yeah, this setup looks so clean. So as long as NQ is kind of slower to work its way there, then I'm down for the get down on the shorts on NASDAQ. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave this here for a couple seconds so you guys can draw this out for yourself. So if you don't have it, go ahead and mark it up. The zone here where we're looking to take a position, the mitigation zone here. This is based out of yesterday's New York Open. And you also have confirmation through this distribution. If you understand Wyckoff, you have that there. And then if you really want to refine the zone in which you want to take a position, we've seen some pretty good resistance here and at this 25 to 20 price. You've seen some good levels of support at this 25 to 10 price. So, do what you want with that information. If you want to keep it relatively a good risk reward, but keep things still pretty conservative, then I think anywhere from like this 2207, 20075 is pretty good. I'm gonna double check though with Nasdaq, so the mini chart versus the micro, just to see if there's any discrepancies, any differences. Things look pretty solid. And then considering we've had a 5-minute break, I think that we can kind of just get a one big tap, quick tap, and then another drop. So I do think we can see a distribution out of here. So minimum, I think we're gonna be able to trade our way back into, you know, a little over a 2R. I think that's just being extremely conservative with this idea. Yes, it is counter trend, so if that's what you want to do, then awesome. Otherwise, you have quite a bit of an imbalance over here to come take care of. So do you want to approach and tackle on this entire imbalance? I'm going to leave that up to you. I am going to tackle on at least the New York lows. And that would put us at a clean 6R over here. And let me tell you, I've never, ever been upset for about a 6R. Not once in my life. So we'll keep it at that. This is the trade that I'm into right now. So I have that set up for y'all. We can, let me just, that was the wrong button. So let's go take a look at Dow one more time. Dow is pushing cleanly. It looks like Dow might have left a buy scenario as well. So I'll keep an eye out on this. All right, we'll keep an eye out and see how the market reaches these key levels, what this is going to look like, because they're both pushing pretty aggressively. If you look at Nasdaq, and if you want to compare assets and see, okay, well, how are these moving? Fibonacci here will show you that it's in between a 50 and 618% pullback for Nasdaq. And then if you look at Dow on the other hand is also giving you a decent pullback, and this is working its way at a very similar pace, but it's actually sitting a little bit lower. So the 50% pullback here for Dow, a little bit higher for NQ. So we'll see what this is how it's gonna work there. Let the market get to these zones. Let the market prove its movement, its intention. Right? We want to be able to read the narrative, the context of what's happening here in the market. So gotta let it ferment. All right, so let's go take a look at the details, right? So let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's see if we already saw some sort of movement on the smaller time frame. I know I talked about how there's a potential for Dow to do something here. So let's go take a look at this on Dow Jones. Dow had a quick spike down on New York Open. It's kind of worked its way up above. So it traded above here for, I don't know, like 3, 4, 5 minutes. Not my favorite kind of price action. I don't like when the market just quickly moves up and right back down. I would prefer the market to really give us like clean price. Yeah, I'm not in love with it. Could it play out? There's a chance. There's a chance. Is it my trade to take? No. Could it be a winning trade? Maybe for somebody else. But for me to take this, I want to see better structure, and two, if NQ is now gonna be more bullish, then I don't really see why I'm gonna want to take positions with buys with Dow. So yeah, I'm okay, because remember, your trade is not just about the directional bias. Your trade is not just about oh, I think it's gonna go up or I think it's gonna go down. There's a very important little detail that's called a stop loss, and It doesn't matter if you chose the right direction. If it tags that, then you're out. And it's actually hilarious because so many traders lean on like, well, I had the right direction. Like, dude, who gives a shit? That doesn't pay you, right? Oh, you chose well. Like, guys, remember that you can make yourself feel better. That's fine. That's cute. But like, you have to play the entire game well. So then it's like, oh well, then I heard someone say like, well, dude, I don't use a stop loss. I'm like, I don't lose because I don't use one, and you might not lose until you lose big. Because if you can't control how you protect your account, like, you're not going to be able to make the right decision when things are really not going your way. So, thanks for reminding me about a stop loss. I forgot about that. You'd be surprised. But it's and not even like using it, but just sometimes we struggle with the difference between trading well and feeling good. And long term, like having a trading system with longevity, guys, you have to prioritize doing the right thing over feeling good about yourself, like feeling accomplished during the session. Sometimes the biggest accomplishment you can have is to just lose like a champion. You lost the battle, not the war. You lost maybe the round, but you didn't lose the fight. So just something to think about. I know you're joking. Like, I heard someone say you're paying your stop to protect you. That's my bodyguard. I love that. That's actually really, really solid. All right. So we got a little bit of, we're seeing Dow unfold a little bit. Now we're seeing NQ drop again. So I'm not convinced on either direction right now. I'm not looking to be in buys. I'm not looking to be in sells. I just want the market to prove itself. That's it. It's on my agenda. So now look at how Dow is starting to move here. If we keep trading above here, so let's say we keep maintaining structure like this, then I'm more open to a Dow buy, especially if we see the market get back to these levels down here. Then all right, cool. Like I'm more okay with taking a position down here. So I'm showing you guys obviously Dow on the small time frame. Now buying Dow here also may have some consequences because as you see, we didn't get below London low. So anyone buying, this is not towards the end of London though, just kind of into the crossover type of area. So I don't hate this trade. If Dow keeps maintaining bullish structure, you just might see a reversal right out of here, especially if we have NQ end up being more bearish, and let's say NASDAQ breaks the low while Dow is maintaining it. All right, I could pull the trigger on something like that. So I want to see if we can kind of get below New York Open and that spike down here. If we can get below this and Dow holds this up, then I could consider a buy over here. But that might be more of a real-time decision over anything else. Again, I'm going to say this again. I'm not confirming a buy on Dow, not yet. But I am just going to have this set up in case things line up and I need to make quick decisions. I'm able to do so. But this doesn't, right now, I'm not saying, oh, green light, I'm going to buy this no matter what. Not what I'm saying yet. I want a bit more confirmation. I want to see price sit up here for a little bit longer. But okay, that's indices. S&P, honestly, hasn't really broken any lows. Hasn't traded. We haven't gotten below New York Open or anything yet here either. So I definitely want to see S&P go lower. Looks like NQ is starting to get heavier movement to the downside by Actually, a pretty big difference. So look at how NASDAQ now again started to dump. Look at how quickly things are starting to shift. We were like, oh, maybe we're going to sell NQ. Maybe we're going to sell Dow. Maybe now we're going to sell NQ again. So decisions are not being confirmed here. And NASDAQ could very much break below all of this. And this would take out a couple hours worth of retail buyers on NQ side here. I wouldn't be surprised if we break even below this structure. So yeah, we're going to keep this in mind. We're going to come back to this if we need to. There's nothing to rush into by any means. So while we're letting indices do their thing, let's see what gold has to offer. Gold over here, took out the highs, and not just any highs. Okay, gold here takes out the highs that are set from Wednesday's price action. So we had some highs set here during New York session, and it trades right into this 9 a.m., this last push up before everything drops. So gold right now does a really good job of sweeping just about 24 hours worth of retail sellers. Gone. Silver pumps up, trades into this imbalance over here. Not as aggressively, so you guys can see it. Silver trades right into here before things start to drop. Basically making equal highs. I wonder, can silver take this out again? Can we see this happen? Is gold possibly setting up for a shakeout? So with this kind of movement, we saw the market pump. We see it now dump. So we're now starting to trade into this zone. I would want to see gold kind of build up a bit more of support here. You know, kind of see something like this. So let's see if gold can kind of stabilize a little bit, lure in some retail buyers, and then maybe we can get the sell-off. So we'll come back to gold. I have some alerts set, but let's take a look at NASDAQ. What did NASDAQ just do? All right, we saw that alert. Let's go take a look. So there's a big difference now, massive difference in between NQ and Dow. NQ is still going lower, while Dow took out London highs now, and now Dow is starting to push. So look at the difference in price action. This divergence is mad. Look at this thing, way up there, and NQ is like, nah, we're just gonna keep going down. We're just gonna keep dumping. So the divergence is pretty massive. This, in my opinion, really positions Dow into a much better buying scenario than it did earlier. This thing is so slow. Okay, cool. Here we go. So I'm in the 1 minute structure. Time and time again, we're starting to get better and better positioning over here. I think you could have a healthy risk reward ratio, just trading within this range, kind of seeing where we're at. Kind of will depend on how we work our way down here. That'll kind of let me know where we could possibly take this to. I'm gonna put this at a 2R just for now. We'll kind of see how this unfolds in a little bit, and I do have some alerts if we start to see Dow work its way lower, so I'll be ready for that. Someone said gold sells at 48.48. Let's take a look, my brother. Let's take a look. So we're looking at potential buys on Dow depending on how price keeps moving. We're seeing NQ is dumping a lot more aggressively, so that might set up for sells later in the session. Gold here possibly looking to create some sort of sells on the small time frame. I don't want to rush that if it just spikes right back up pretty quickly. And if we zoom out some more, we can take a look and see, is there any sort of trading happening over here? And I see that we had kind of a last push up before the market worked its way down. So if you're looking at gold, like, is there a possibility for a reversal in this zone? So what we can do is we can actually use a replay tool, go over here, right, go take a look at price action from gold, and we're going all the way back to yesterday's London session, all the way back. And you see a couple things here, right? You see the spike up right there. So this big move up before it dumps down right there. You see liquidity building up as well. So this comes up to here, basically forms like a rough around the edges version of a shakeout, but we see the super liquidity. The market basically rebalances and then works its way lower. So here you see that last push up that liquidates before the market starts to work its way down. This is clearly already very efficient. And then we see another movement. So yeah, I mean, sells in this like 48.50-ish range definitely have possibilities. Obviously this is a little bit further out, so stay mindful of this idea for sure. Stay patient with this idea. Might be a little bit further out. But yeah, be on the lookout. See how gold is moving. Watch how silver is moving. Make a decision based off of just the best of the time frames that you get, the best of price action that you get there. Okay, now remember, I was kind of looking for a mitigation, an entry on a shakeout for gold, like right here. Came up and right back down. So I wonder if we kind of build up again, if we can come up one more time. That might be better suited for this kind of trade. But look at how we filled this imbalance, immediately came back down to trade over here. I feel like that was kind of our only entry point too, though. So this might have been just a quick in and out sort of shakeout scenario. Dow's still holding the level pretty well, while let's see, what is Nas doing? Nas takes out this, basically a couple hours worth of retail buyers, so sweeps that. Okay, takes care of business right there. Feels a little bit of an imbalance. I wouldn't completely keep this out of the equation, that it still takes out these lows. So I think this is very much still a possibility. And I will say, if NQ keeps maintaining this bearish structure, there's also a chance that we have a buy, a smart money buy that's left behind. So I mean, this over here just might become a selling zone. Might become a selling zone. Again, give it time. The market do its thing. So this would be breaking structure here, sweeping these lows. This would be cracking the London lows. So if we were to see NQ take out London lows and Dow sets up for that mitigation setup that I talked about, ooh, that looks solid. Because right now NQ keeps dumping and Dow is like, nah, like we're holding this down pretty decent. So the buy scenario just keeps getting better for Dow. This just keeps accumulating more and more demand for buys over here, and it's like a exponential rise. You see that, like, the steeper that trend line is, the more aggressive we're seeing the bullish momentum. So those also get cleared. That's when you see those big, like, flash crashes, and then it makes the rally. Some water over here. All right. Oil. Oil's still pushing. So oil is going up. Gold is going up. Dow is going up. And Q is kind of figuring itself out, having an identity crisis at the moment. But all right, hold up. So what's good here? What can you do here? Well, tune in next time on another episode of Dragon Ball Z. But I'll come back to oil because it's not actually urgent, so that's okay. So let's look at gold, right? Gold dropped into this, filled the imbalance. It didn't really stay here. Like, it's just not holding this price down great. It came up again, came right back down before coming up again. So I just, if in order to sell gold confidently, I would have wanted to see price kind of just want to stay lower for longer. But now, just as quickly as it goes down in price, it's coming back up, and it just seems like these positions are just getting filled. Like, price doesn't really want to trade down below 47.90. Like, this is so temporary. Yes, this is a break retest. 100% this is a break and retest type of trade. I don't trade break and retest. Typically, this is what is creating liquidity. So you see retail buyers are eating this up right now. Now, I would want to sell right here typically, but I like seeing more demand, and we only traded down here for like 9 minutes or so. So sadly, I'm going to have to discard this. As much as I would want to be in a position to make some money, this is just not enough demand for me to pull the trigger on this. Not even a low risk trade. Like, it just was down and right back up, down and right back up. So if it plays out, epic, kudos to whoever ends up catching it if it does. But right now, I have to say, you're just not for me. You're just not for me, gold. So if you want to, give me a setup later, I'm more than happy to take it. But right now, I bid you adieu. So we're chilling. I'm chilling on metals. Not going to short it. Definitely not going to go against this momentum. We're chilling. Big chilling, especially because silver had those equal highs. So maybe we get a different scenario. Maybe you get a different trade later. But that we're cool with. I wonder if indices also are running too then. Let's see. All right, Dow's maintaining the high. So let's zoom out a little bit. We're definitely seeing the structure, right, stay. We've now been sitting up here for well over 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So structure's honestly pretty solid. And then this is giving us more and more confirmation to be able to extend for a buy, like a longer reward if this buy does have its confirmation. So for now, I feel good about it. We're seeing NQ also start to rise. So will this be some sort of shakeout scenario for NQ? Probably not. I don't think I would force any buys over here. It's been the most bearish, so wouldn't do that either. But yeah, regarding indices, they're doing their thing. Buys are looking better for Dow. Gold here looks like it might just hold on. It might just hold on. EJ for sell psychological 186. I don't trade psychological levels like that. I don't teach that. So that confirmation by itself, no, I wouldn't sell it. Maybe if there's another one. Maybe if there's a sort of specific setup, sure. But that on its own, it's not a setup that I take. Yeah, I'm curious if this is enough for gold for these shorts to play out. Maybe one of you guys took it. Maybe you are going to see a setup. I'm still super bullish on YM. Might get a setup later. Exactly, Evan. That's what I'm talking about, bro. There's no reason to be in iffy trades or just wanting to catch whatever moves. Like, there's no reason. Wow, these metals are dropping like that, huh? Well, gold not so much. Silver a little bit more. But these weren't qualified for me, so whatever. It doesn't really matter. Let's go take a look at... Someone said natural gas. Taking out some lows. Okay. New York lows just got a little baby sweep below. Nice little move here. Okay. Is that enough? Micros with a bigger push, but a sweep nonetheless. Could be interesting. Let's say we eat up this imbalance and start to lure in some liquidity. Okay, I could then be interested in maybe some buy positions. So let's see what this turns into. As of right now, it's not like I'm not confirmed for buys or anything yet. Just gonna let it simmer. Let it do its thing. Possible shakeout. It's possible. I don't take it this quick. I know maybe some people do. They take like the inversion or whatever. But I don't take it right off the rip. Like if it quick drop right back in and out, like this is a little too not enough confirmation for me. All right, let's zoom on. I don't trade cross pairs. Like I haven't traded CFTs in a handful of years, so yeah, I'm not gonna really give that too much time right now. We're seeing, man, these currencies going crazy. Mitigation on Australian was solid for the buys. We talked about the euro buys way down here. There was a shakeout setup on euro as well. As of right now, I'm not looking to take any positions. I don't have any pending. But I did have this marked up on CAD here from a while back. This is from March 25th. So I'm not sure where we're at with everything else. I think a lot of the currencies have already traded above these levels. But I do think it's important if you are going to be shorting any of these majors, these dollar futures, that you are very much aware of kind of where are you in the macro, where are you in the big picture before you start to buy or sell anything. Euro. The euro shakeout that we had marked up here has run for over a 40 R. Absolutely crazy. Euro here had a nice pump, clearing out liquidity. So you had sells kind of building up right here. You see the market intentionally clear these highs before making its way. It's funny. It's like my brain can't not think it. Making its way downtown. Y'all know what happens next. Y'all know the rest of that. But we work our way down. We get below here. So we start trading below. And we honestly hold this down for the rest of the session going into Asian session and into London session. So this looks like a pretty good, like a pretty good short. The question is where in this zone would this be valid? Is there anything else have a similar position. I mean, 6N kind of, but the structure break was very weak. The yen of all of them is trading really well. It did dump after taking me out. I had such a cool video going too. It was like on the road, 6 yen in Japan sell, and then like Mount Fuji is literally in front of me, and then it just didn't work, and I got stopped out. But it still looked cool. I think I'm still gonna post it, like, didn't win the trade but still won at life. I mean, maybe won with the view, right? The view on the chart wasn't that great, but the view behind it was better. But I'm gonna get it. Don't worry. We're gonna make it happen. But what I will say is the same movement. So looking at euro, here, looking at euro, the movement, this happens like in that London New York overlap. So we see a sweep and then everything kind of drops down. When you look at yen, it's happening around the exact same time. So you do get that movement and then it drops. Obviously with the yen being way more bearish, this is a better trade for the yen, absolutely. But this trade is happening during London, New York overlap. So it is kind of more relevant for that setup. So I'm aware of both situations. More than likely, I'm only going to take this on the yen just because this has built up so much liquidity over here. Like just an absurd amount of retail sells are in this. So I wonder if we have some sort of surprise today with movement, especially considering that now we have Japan and Russia. You know, we got things going on there. So I think it's worth considering. There's no more real news events here for today. Natural gas storage. Hold on. Thursday. Is there energy news today? I don't know why these yellow ones are here. Oh, okay. We do have natural gas news in 15. And I know we were looking at that, so we can take a look back at that for sure, no problem. Okay, so we'll take a deeper look at natural gas because if there's news in 15 minutes, that can be enough to really shake things up. But obviously we want a confirmation before really committing to anything with natural gas. All right, let me move these yellow folders and these orange folders. We got no time for you. CPI tomorrow, folks. CPI, come on now. CPI tomorrow, that's fun. We like that. All right, so I'm going to place an alert on this trend line so once it breaks as well for the yen. Okay. Cool. So between the currencies, the best play in my opinion is yen, euro ranked number 2 for shorts. But I'm going to prioritize the yen. Now let's work our way back to seeing what natural gas is looking like less than 15 minutes out from a news event. Right now, I'm not convinced on anything yet. We have broken below New York lows. So yesterday's New York lows have been swept. If we do work our way back up, like right away, right back up to this. So if we see the same scenario, then yeah, this buy can be valid. You know, we can look for something like this and see what we get. All right, alerts, quick alerts on Dow. We are working our way down now. Okay. I like the confirmation on something like this. NQ very close to sweeping these lows as well. We're talking about getting below this structure or trading into this structure. Okay, that's cool. So I'm cool with it. I like the idea. I'm open to trading Dow here with this structure. I'm gonna go ahead and get my risk going right here. And then I'm gonna do like a 3/4 risk on this idea. Where's that put me at? 3. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Couple contracts here on my end. I'll go with 2 contracts on my end. Let's see. I would love to see NQ crack the low though. So NQ breaking below this would put this in a great position. So let me just zoom out a little bit so you guys can see that. So like here right now, for example, a lot of traders that let's say would be buying NASDAQ, they're counting on this structure point to last, to hold. But if NASDAQ breaks this stops out quite a bit of traders. NASDAQ breaks London low, that stops out even more traders. But a lot of the liquidity is built right now. The last 3 hours worth of buyers have stops below here. So bare minimum, I feel like it's a pretty good shot that we see this get down to this level. And then if you wanted just to kind of have a really good perspective on where, for example, where's S&P at? You know, what's S&P doing? S&P also filling some of this imbalance. It's been consolidating over here, so breaking below these levels, bare minimum is what I see, like where we have been seeing all of this squeezing. Yeah, that's kind of, I think, the minimum that we're going to see something happen. So let's see if S&P works its way a little bit lower. And then I'm going to have my alert set on Dow if it does go and trigger the idea. So I have mine set here. We saw some movement. Traded back down to levels of support we've already seen. So if we work our way lower, I'll be ready. So as you guys can see, right, I use alerts all the time. It makes my life easier. I look at quite a handful of different charts just because at this stage, like I can balance that. I'm able to maneuver the charts like that. You don't have to do what I do. Remember that. You can be a bit more, you know, just kind of take a step back and trade out your rhythm, have peace with what you're doing, be able to manage your positions for sure. Now, let me ask you guys a question here. NQ here. I think it took that low. But I will say there's kind of a lot happening. Okay, so just manage what you can. Natural gas, though, is looking like it's setting up for a shakeout. So we're 10 minutes out from news there. I will go look at that in another 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. I don't need to look at that right now. But NQ took out those lows that we had talked about. Okay. So the structure that it was set right there just tapped into that. Like just tapped into that. I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done moving. Whoa, what did I just do? Here we go. Okay. But maybe that's it. So NQ just starts to basically make equal lows right there. Could that be enough to sweep liquidity? I don't know. Where did that take Dow? Did it take Dow lower? No, it didn't. Dow starting to rip from here. Oh, man. Ho, man. Massive pump already. Filling this imbalance. What do you guys think? Is that it? Is that the move? Takes out this low, gets right underneath it, trades into kind of this choppy mess that's going on over here. I think that we could still see NQ go lower. I think NASDAQ has another push lower. I think that's possible. I will add this though. We did get the the trend line break here as well. So that might have been it. That's quite a bit of liquidity here for NQ to take out. We break below, market moves. Might be a wrap, folks. That might have been all she wrote for indices, and this could be the bounce. Now, this imbalance is filled. So if we work our way further down, because right now, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like we're just trading within these order blocks. I don't think we've really mitigated. Here's a 15-second. So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of noise over here. So I think we go lower one more time. I stand by it still. Is that the one that I said nice sell to? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you streaming, or does Syndicate need a host for that? For CPI tomorrow? No, I think I'm gonna be streaming. Well, this wasn't part of the playbook. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm still waiting on this one. All right, so in the meantime, let's go take a look at what did metals end up doing. Barely survived there. All right. Silver really held that zone, huh? That's wild. I'm shook. With the equal highs there, damn, it really dumped. Alright. Okay. So, natural gas is 6 minutes away from the news event. And basically what we've seen so far is the following. We saw natural gas clear New York low. So we had some support over here, more support over there. So this was the elimination of these retail buyers. So it breaks below. Now remember, the reason that the market is incentivized to getting below these levels of support is because remember, a stop loss for a buy is basically when that position is exchanged at a lower price. So there are orders available down here. So another order can open at this lower level. So if I want to get into the market, someone needs to be able to, there needs to be an order available for me at that price. And so when the price dumps to these levels, well, there needs to be someone willing to give up a position at this price in order for money to come in at that price too. So remember, that's why we have these orchestrated events in which the markets move like this. So, but is this enough to take a position? The market clears the low, gets below New York lows, works its way back up, so now it's filled the imbalance, but then it instantly reversed back down. So right now, silver didn't really create too much demand and just made its move. You're seeing natural gas do the same thing, where it comes down, clears liquidity, comes up, comes right back down. So not a great demand. We have news here in a little bit. So for me, confirmation is not there. It's not. I want to see more proof that we won't have buyers over here before we start just going for the buy. Maybe it's enough for you. Maybe with macroeconomics. Maybe with just news events coming in. It's like, you know what? This is it. Let me take it. Do your thing. Follow your plan. What I will say is, don't rationalize. This too shall pass. So whatever desires you have to be in the market, to take a trade, to get closer, A lot of times we think what we want first and not what the consequence of that's going to be. So take a trade based off of knowing the exact consequences of your decision and whether that's really building you as a trader or not. That's all I can say, right? I'm not here to trade for you. I'm just here to walk through my thoughts, how I process not just the market, but decision making. More importantly, I think you learn more on decision making here than anything else. And plus there's always tons of opportunities. So I don't think there's always a need to rush anything. You know what I mean? But all right, so let's pull up NQ. NQ going lower again. What do we say, right? Working its way downtown. Going lower. Going lower. Will that put our Dow trade into position? And it looks like it can. It looks like it can. All right, Dow getting closer. NQ still hasn't taken out London lows though, so that's just be aware. It's getting closer, but not close enough. Not yet. So I'm gonna wait for this one. Let's see if we can see NQ go here. I'm gonna go split screen. I kind of got out of the habit of doing that. I think that's valuable instead of going back and forth here. Dude, the speed on this laptop versus my computer is hilarious. Come on, man. Load. Hey. Hey. Whenever I hear A, I just think of Big X the plug. Hey. Alright. We need the biggest, the largest payout. I wonder if the Nat Gas news is gonna give us a little influence here too. Could it be? All right. Yo, who's been seeing Intel just absolutely rip? Oh my god. We're almost up 3x on Intel. Epic. Absolutely amazing. All right, so we have what, we're a minute away from natural gas. How do you guys feel on that? Anyone gonna pull the trigger on that or not? Hey, Greg's like, yeah. All right, Greg. I haven't seen you in the chat in a minute. Greg's feeling it. All right, so I didn't end up positioning myself into natural gas. Just wasn't enough confirmation for me to do much there. Could it play out? Very much possibly. But I was just kind of back and forth on it. I didn't love it, so I'm at peace with my decision. We have NQ trading pretty low. You know, so we traded pretty low. Not quite getting there. Here with Dow, it's kind of, it looks to me like it's kind of building up support. If it runs, then you know what? It has my blessing. But if it doesn't, then I'm also very much cool with that. And if it wants to come trigger us in, all love. It looks like that natural gas might rip though. Let me see in the chat. Anyone here take it? Not enough confirmations. So I'm saying I agree. Yeah, it's going though. Peaced out. It peaced out. Would have been a nasty trade. All right, I don't have it in front. I don't have it on screen right now. I'm just looking at it here on another one. All right. But we can focus on what we can focus on. You know, if you get if you get consumed by all the trades that could have been, trust me, you will drive yourself absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Although I will say this one would have been nice. All right, we have not too much left. Let's see if I just want to see NQ clear this low. Now, what I want to do here is it's something interesting because I don't want to. One thing that is always important is to just kind of self-diagnose your bias. So, have we been too caught up in the buys versus the sells, right? Could that be another side to this trade? And right now, obviously, the sell pressure has been stronger on NQ than it has been on Dow. So let's say our sells actually looking great for NASDAQ. And honestly, yeah. Right, NQ takes out London, Tokyo highs, plays into this order block right there, makes its move higher. So let's say we were to get, the buy position to set up for NQ or for Dow. Do we have a sell too? Can we take a sell position on NASDAQ later? And you see the market start to move to the upside over here. You then can see how right there, let's just get a little bit more detail. Alright, yeah, so we see it push, stall out a little bit, then the last run before it dumps. So honestly, you kind of get that from right over here. So NQ selling off from here. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Structure on NQ on the 1 minute has been bearish for the last 20 minutes. So I say if we end up working our way back over here, then shorts on NQ don't look too bad. So we have buy scenarios for Dow, sell scenarios for NASDAQ. Gonna be here all night. Thing is gone. Okay. So anyways, guys, you know the setups, right? The setups are in front of you. This is what I'm waiting for in order to not just kind of sit here and just, be here, not really saying much. Power is now in your hands. So you have it set up here. Everything is in front of you. Everything that you need. Now it's up to you. As always, just make sure you do things right. Like, it doesn't have to be this trade. If it does, awesome. We're stoked. If it's not, though, that's cool. That's cool. All right, take it one trade at a time. Make sure it's high quality. For me, this Dow trade, honestly, is pretty solid. The confirmations, the structure, we had enough demand over here to take a decent risk at this trade. I'm not looking for this to go too far. Actually, I'm going to probably dial back my take profit on this as well. So we'll kind of see. It'll depend on where we get, how NQ reverses. because if we do get, a big reversal over here, and then Nasdaq gets to like this area, then I'll probably take profit once we get pretty close to this NQ selling zone. So if buy trades trigger, and we end up, going into profit, and then it gets into this zone, I'll just take my profit on it. What do I think about gold right now? What do I think about gold right now? I haven't been thinking about gold for a little bit here. Damn, that shakeout on gold melted. Alright, so both the trades that we liked. I wonder if gold buys look good or not. But I will say this. I don't want to change the focus too much. Gold kind of playing into an imbalance in an order block. So it looks like it's kind of getting closer to a movement. Gold is holding structure better than silver. So I could see if you guys are looking for a position on gold, honestly, I kind of see it. So here, I'll show you guys what gold looks like. So gold here, we saw a pretty big move during, 2 hours ago. Sold off to here to come back up. The market holds this level for just shy of an hour before dumping into this zone. You can see how gold and Dow are actually kind of similar in the way that it's moving. Gold just dropped into this area a bit better for gold. So you see how it just broke the structure, traded into this imbalance, and then now gold is starting to move. So I can see buys on gold for sure if you're looking at kind of like the reversal out of this zone and this imbalance simultaneously. So I could see gold buys aligns with indices playing out as well to the upside. Might be a little short-lived, but yeah, I can see it. Cool. So you might end up, getting something there. Awesome, guys. Great session. CPI. We'll be live again tomorrow. As always, keep up the good work, guys. You're absolutely killing it here, and genuinely super stoked to see just more and more of the community, not just getting results, but just like the way you guys approach the markets is so professional, and only good things will keep happening. So keep up the good work. Syndicate Squad, we'll be live together here in however many hours it is, the usual times. So I'll see you guys. Much love, y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one.